Alrighty, this is one of my favorites. I'm just going to show you how to make a targeted list, and it can be a big list or a small list. It's a targeted list from folks on Twitter. So let's get started here. We're going to do a crawler for this one, and it's pretty simple. So we're going to go to the tool followerwalk.com. And specifically what FollowerWalk helps us do is it helps us search through things like Twitter bios. So we're going to click on that. And feel free to visit this page in your Chrome browser and look around before you jump into import if you need to look around. So I'm just going to do a quick search here. So I'm going to look for data scientists. And I want them to be in San Francisco. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a list of people on Twitter that I should let know about this course. So if you're watching this and you ended up on this list, you're welcome. Let this load up. Apologize for the slow internet. Comcast is killing me tonight. Here's some other example searches if you ever need to take a look at stuff. Alright, so we got a nice list of users here, and they do some categorization for us. Let's click on there. And let it detect those settings. It's all the data we wanted is still there, albeit it's a little bit uglier, but it's there. Perfect. So this is a tool I use all the time. It just makes sense, right? So like if you're using Twitter to sell, or you're using Twitter to communicate with your customers or potential customers, it just makes sense to come here and make a targeted list, especially based on what they describe themselves as, etc. And you can also even search for like a particular set of URLs, right? So it definitely makes sense. And as an example, if you wanted to search for anybody that had an About Me because you're building an About Me competitor, you could search for anybody that uses that as their URL on Twitter and reach out to them. But let's take a look at what we can do here. So I'm going to go all the way across. I personally don't really care at this point about social authority, but we'll include it in there in case you do. Okay. This is decently structured, so it picks it up very quickly for us. And as you can see, there's 3 pages here, which actually, now that I think about it, is going to cause us a little bit of an issue, but we'll deal with that at the end. The reason that's going to give us an issue is because we need to train 5 different pages. So if we only have 3, that's a bit of an issue, but there's ways around that. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top here, and let's do username. We'll also get the full link here. Oops. Meant to do that. Perfect. And then, just for good measure, we'll also get the Twitter handle. We'll put that in a text format so that later we can throw those into our Twitter feed to start communicating with these people. And then if you're going to come back and do this multiple times, and for different cities, I recommend you grab the location. If you're only going to do it once and it's a small local list, then probably not as big of a deal. Tweet count. You can tell if they're more of an active user or not, which is good. check out how many users they're following. Get your followers. So again, this is, pretty useful, right? Like if you have people that have a lot of followers and couldn't detect any text. Looks like you got it to me. Must have had just a little bug there. So anyway, if you're looking for somebody that's an influencer in a particular category, you can search for what might be inside their bio, the location, their name, and again, any URLs. And then you can also have like a minimum amount of followers if you want only people that have an audience of, say, like 20,000. Then you can also see, how old their account is. If you're going to do this a ton, this would probably be, I'll just count age. This can be a measure in, like, who's a spam bot, who's not. Like if they're brand new and they have tons and tons of followers, you might want to do a little research and see if they're real. Social authority, whatever, if you decide that you want that social authority stuff, go ahead and get it. I don't really need it for what we're doing, so I'm also going to do description. Oops, let's go up here to this guy. You definitely don't want to forget the description, especially if you're going to let this list sit and come back to it later. Alright, nailed it. I'm just going to scroll through and make sure I got everything. Perfect. Got it. Now let's click. I've got what I need. And we're going to move on. So in this situation, because we only have 3 pages, and just to point out that this is a very structured page, right? Like it's not hard for us. It's already in a table, basically. It's not hard for us to get the data out of this. So what we'll do is we'll actually just end up training 2 of the same pages. Won't be any big deal, and it's not going to affect the performance at all. Now if you were doing something that had a higher level of variability, you'd want to be careful about that, because you might end up running a scrape for a really long time. You come back and there's a bunch of blank cells from some pages of really crucial data that you wanted. So be wary of that. Just make sure you're paying attention to whether or not it's working. Alright, let's add another page. Scroll down. Well, what's the deal? It didn't actually load the bottom of the page here, so I can't get to the pagination. Oh, I wonder if there's even a 3rd page. Showing, okay, yeah, there is. So I don't know what that is. It's just a little error, so I'm just going to type in the page number. Why not? So this is only going to have 12 results on the page here, which is fine. The formatting of this page here is pretty crazy. I'm there. Alright, now we're just going to fly through this as much as we can. It's acting a bit weird here. Okay, so we're going to add another page, and we're just going to go back to page 1. Just to make things easy on ourselves. So now if you use this enough, which, if you're making lists on Twitter, you'll probably use it a lot. It's pretty valuable. You can make some really, really awesome lists. I actually have a spreadsheet that I'll show you here in a little bit that you can use to get bigger lists of folks. All right, so got what we need. And you can really cruise through this stuff because they will be pulling essentially another template or pulling from a page that you already templated. So they should be able to get it for you, no problem. Do the whole add another page thing. Let's go to page 2. So if I were to go back and do this again, I would do a different search that has more results. All right. Last page. Let's get this thing added. Yeah, my computer is just getting punished right now. It is going so slow. Okay, perfect. We're done training. Upload this. So just call it Follower Walk Twitter Scraper. That works for me. Wait for this to upload the settings, and then we'll flip over to my spreadsheet. So what my spreadsheet does is it builds the same queries that we build on the page here, so you can just enter them directly into the spreadsheet, and it will grab the number of results and generate the amount of URLs you need, very similar to the Yelp one that we used previously. So we'll flip over to advanced here. As you can see, it's the couple of the same pages as before, and it recognizes that and leaves those duplicates out, which is fine. We're going to click this down to 0. You know what? Actually, let's just flip over to our spreadsheet. So here's an example of a bigger search in general, and we'll use this to grab some data. So instead of just San Francisco, which yielded us only 112 results, we're going to look at data science or data scientist in general. So anybody that put data scientist in their Twitter biography. So what's happening again here is there's some magic happening down here below, so that if you type in something here, it will add it all up together into a string over here. So I'll show you an example. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to get through because the internet's going a little bit slow. So remember on the page we saw earlier, 112 results, and as you saw in the Yelp thing, or the Yelp spreadsheet that I created as well, this is doing very much the same thing. It's doing down here actually, it's doing import XML from that base URLs from this URL here, and it's using XPath to define where the results are, the results count. So then I'm taking the results count using regular expressions right here. This regular expression statement pulls out just the number that we need, and then we use substitution to kill of, and then finally we use int to turn it into an integer, so that on this field right here we can take and we can divide the results by 50 and then round up, because that's how many results are on each page. So let's get back to what we originally had here. Let's take that out. And now we're at 1763. So just to show you the magic here, it's pretty nifty. It lets you do some cool stuff very quickly. So you can see here we have 1763 results. If you scroll down, you can't see all of the pages, but according to this, we have 36 pages. So just like with Yelp, you're going to copy these, and this is automatic, so it will stop. It takes the page count here, and it says, is this greater than or equal to, is this number right here, greater than or equal to this page count. And if it is, it will print out a link here. If it's not, then it'll stay blank like this. So it's pretty nifty, honestly. So we're going to jump over here and highlight that, get that out of there, and just throw all those in there. Where to crawl? Right here. Get those in there exactly. And where to extract data from all of these pages. Fantastic. Page net back to 0 because we don't need it. And let's just do simultaneous pages as 1. Actually, you know what? Let's roll the dice. We'll do 3 and see how many duplicates come out of it, or see, you know, how well it does there. We're gonna hit go and watch this thing fly. So, because we're pulling 3 pages at a time, and it's 36 pages only, it's a relatively small amount of pages. But as you can see, you get a ton of Twitter handles for people that may or may not end up being interested in what it is that you're doing. Hopefully all these people are very interested in this course, and hopefully they become students along with you. I know I made a couple other lists like this as well, so hopefully that helps me promote the course, and hopefully you help me promote the course. Do your part. Alright, click upload the data, and you're pretty much good to go. I mean, this is just standard procedure at this point, but I hope you see the value in using FollowerWalk to generate these big lists. You can do some really interesting stuff, and I will give you one pro tip here. So, yes, it is valuable to have this information here on this page, but let me just show you something really cool. So, we searched data scientist, and all this information is really good, but we do want one more piece of information, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab the URLs. Now, by default, it doesn't show you the URLs unless you search for something here, and because we don't have a particular structure, we're just going to look for the .coms. And that will probably change the results a little bit. There's bound to be some, so there's some people out there that don't have URLs in there, but then here are some folks that do have the URLs. So if you wanted to run through this list again, all you would have to do is go .com, and we should see the next set of results as 664 as soon as this loads. It's been just absolutely crawling tonight, so I apologize for the speed. I think it's 664. Yeah, 664 people have .com. It'd be really interesting, actually, to see if there's anybody we missed because it's .net. Yep, there are some .netters, so 43 out of that original list have .net. And let's see what .org gets us. Boom, 54 more people, and I'm willing to bet there's some .io out there. Boom, 12. I wonder if anybody from Import.io is on this list. Nope, not that I can tell. Get on that, guys. Alright, very cool. And yeah, as you can see, this loaded. It adjusted the amount of URLs here, so use this tool. It's fantastic for just flying through lists that are qualified for you. Start here, just search around, make sure that you're getting a good feel for what it is you're looking for, and then take that same query and make it in the spreadsheet. So that's it for FollowerWalk. Let me know if you have any questions on how to use it, and thank you for tuning in again.